I'm going to draw something. Oh, let me grab my glasses. Right, the challenge I came up with for today is either a creature or a human. I'm going to start with just simple random shapes, and I'm going to pick up on some irregularities and see if I can turn it into something recognizable this time, rather than just exercising abstract shapes. I think faces are the most recognizable patterns. We are most able to recognize faces, see them in toasts and stains on the wall. But if I happen to see a alien creature or maybe an animal, then I'll take it. So I'll try to be a little bit more open to recognition, pattern recognition than usual. So I brought my white pencil, one of the white pencils that I'm using, and I couldn't sharpen it. I kept sharpening it and it kept breaking, and the wood was kind of knotted, like I couldn't cut through the wood, and the pencil became almost too short to be able to sharpen it, and I ended up just throwing it away. And I'm using this 4B pretty soft pencil for sketching. Oh, there's going to be noises because I'm pressing against this very old table that cracks. I'll try to minimize it. I'm just kind of filling in the space that I designated for the frame, and the shape will be a little bit more dynamic. And kind of centered. There won't be any flat backgrounds. So one trick to help you see not details, help you see beyond the details in drawing is to squint. When you squint, maybe even like close one eye and squint that remaining eye and see just values and just shapes, and then that way you will not be able to see all the details that distract you from seeing the big picture. It's almost like getting the kind of overall view of, more like an aerial view from the airplane, rather than focusing on a lot of details. Right, let's see. Are we seeing anything yet? Since it's a creature, maybe there are some things that I already know, like for example, on the bottom, it's more likely that there will be some sort of legs. But will there be dog-like or spindly legs or thick legs? Who knows? Maybe it's a creature that never existed. Trying to be kind of more quick and dynamic and all over the place, just to block out the basic patterns. Is it a dog? Maybe it's a dog. Yeah. Or maybe a dragon. That would be cool. Could it have wings? Oh, it's a bird-like creature, maybe. Yeah. Got a beak. Yeah, good luck. Good luck talking while you're trying to focus very hard on picking up patterns. Talking becomes an issue. And it seems like it's more natural to just focus on drawing. But let's see if we can combine talking and drawing. Some kind of beak. In every project, there is a moment when it feels like giving up, when it just looks like crap and it seems like it doesn't take you anywhere. And the problem with this is that most people give up at this point and abandon the project. And that's the time where it's very important to keep pushing. You have to dredge through it. It always gets difficult. I don't know what it is. Maybe I should have found more specific creature described in a science fiction novel, like The Martian before. So today is a really nice day. It's been like almost 70 degrees outside and sunny, and I am in the woods, and I spend most of the day outside playing like a little kid in the playground. I have a little setup made out of aluminum pipes. Oh, actually, there's some kind of steel pipes that don't rust, and key clamps. So I created this like scaffolding, and I'm able to kind of go out and swing from the bars and vault over them. And just kind of hanging out in the forest. It just really helps me with my mood and with my focus, and I feel like my brain functions better, and also I feel healthier. More news about the health, all the exams I'm going through now. I've been focusing on testing my cardiac health, and so far no issues have been found, which is great. And I feel like the medical professionals should consider their patients' lifestyles more, and just be aware of the lifestyle that leads to certain adaptations that our bodies go through. For example, if you are an athlete, if you are very active all day, every day, not all day, but every day almost, with some rest in between, then it's likely that your heart will develop endurance, and sometimes it will result in having maybe one of the atriums, that is two, like, it's kind of like a hallway to the heart, right and left atrium it's called. My left one is dilated, which means it's a little wider, and it's just a result of a large volume of blood being pumped through the heart. And the doctor told me that it's due to high blood pressure, and I had to push back on that because my blood pressure is always normal whenever it's measured. And then also I looked it up, and it turns out that people who are active very commonly develop this feature, which is enlarged atriums in the heart, just to pump more blood, and it's pretty obvious. I kind of felt like the doctor didn't listen to or pay attention to my lifestyle, and just kind of made a judgment, and they're very quick to prescribe medications, like maybe they will push me to take blood pressure medication even though I don't need it, and that causes more side effects. And then having to take more pills, and then before you know it, your cabinet is filled with these round brown boxes, containers filled with pills. So I think I drew a dog bird. That's what it looks like. It's a pretty silly looking thing. You need some kind of pause. But there's still chance to change it. Maybe it will be something else. Or maybe it will be nothing, and I'm going to abandon the project. And the challenge would be interesting, because what if I can totally transform it into something else? It can be a cool challenge. Maybe I really don't like that weird beak. I'm going to kill that. Now it looks like a horse. Also, the pencil is a little softer here, and the paper is more what's the granular? That's the word. Granular, which helps me actually draw quicker, but with less detail. Yeah, maybe I'll turn it into something else. I was too quick. Oh, there's some smudge. So it kind of feels nice to have all the info about my health that kind of helps me enjoy myself better. It means that I don't have to worry about, salt or fat or diet. And of course, I am still trying to eat as healthy as possible, but I'm not going to obsess. And also I know that I can continue my active lifestyle and have some fun. Alright. This has to be something else then. What do we see? I see face. The problem is that the proportions are a horizontal rectangle, and I have to make use of all the space, and it's not always what I want to draw. Maybe I can switch to a vertical video, which is the new thing. I got some weird caterpillar man, maybe. Or that could be cool. Have like a caterpillar with a human face. That would be fun. A little tail here. And segments. Maybe some kind of spikes here. Sometimes speed helps. If you rush something, it feels like you can actually capture more, because speed is the enemy of overthinking. Doing something fast helps you skip some of the steps that you would have normally taken too much time on, and sometimes it's a great exercise to go quick. Everybody does it. People who work with words, like actors, practice reading their parts very quickly, very fast, so that they don't tie their tongues later when it's time to say their parts. And musicians also practice something new to play with speed. And now I'm trying to apply some of that principle here. With more speed, I might be able to achieve a freshness that I normally would lack. It's good. Fuck. Alright, so it's a face, it's a caterpillar man. It's settled. It's kind of like I think that's where his ear will be. He has to have ear. It's going to be a large ear. It's kind of like a manly man dude with beard. I often end up drawing faces that are looking quite familiar. They're like faces of people that I interacted with or I know. Some of them look like me, because it's obvious that by being in the world, I interact with people and I create templates in my brain, and then they emerge whenever I draw a human face. Oh, it looks like Dave. This one looks like, Lucy or whoever else. I actually don't know any Lucy. Do I know any Daves? Some Daves. Dave is probably one of the most common names in the United States, at least. Maybe in England too. David. And there's this trick you can do if you want to crash a party. Think of one of the most common names you can think of. So Dave, for example, is very common. If you try to crash a party, you can just walk in, look confident, and when someone asks you, and you are, or I mean, if they have a list, that's probably not going to work. But if it's like a casual party, you can just walk in, and if someone asks you who you are, you can just say, I'm with Dave, or I'm looking for Dave. And of course, the chances are that Dave will be, there's always going to be a Dave in the crowd of non-Daves at a party. And they will be, oh, Dave, yeah, Dave's here, come in. And that's how you crash a party. Right, we got a caterpillar man. Yeah, his face got a little dark. It's going to have to be in a shade because I started out with something else, but hopefully it will emerge. Bearded men are easy to draw because you don't have to worry about the details like mouths, chins. To kind of decide where the light is coming from. Otherwise, I'll be guessing. There's kind of a flat area here. I think I started forcing it too soon. Drawing ears is tough too. Create an illusion that what you draw is highly detailed, but it's just a suggestion. Yeah. Yeah, it's. I think the pencil is too soft for my liking. Can't get enough details. Focusing on that face. It's kind of like almost tardigrade man. One of the paws will be like lifted here, like that. Oh, that's pretty ridiculous. I don't know how many legs he has to figure out which legs are front, which ones are in the back. That's pretty. I don't know, I'm kind of feeling like I'm giving up here. Tardigrade. Tardigrades are one of the most resilient creatures. And they're everywhere, apparently. But too bad I can't find any. Like, you need quite a big magnification to be able to see them. So maybe like you can try to find them under the microscope, take a drop of water from some sort of pond and see if you can find them. That's what happens when you don't have a plan. The most ridiculous things come out. I don't know, I don't like this. Also this, I don't like this either. I need to blend it. Yeah, I think this exercise is not quite suitable for this channel. It just distracts me from being able to rant and to kind of integrate my talking with drawing. Because I think I'm trying too hard and I'm trying to find patterns. And at this point, once I found the pattern and I know what I'm drawing, I think I can start relax more and be able to talk more. But it was pretty silent video, and I feel like also it's going to be shorter. And I also don't have any coherent train of thought. I don't know. But now I'm just sort of integrating everything and seeing if I can make interesting texture. Maybe some more volume in the hair. Yeah, where's the light coming from? Seems like it's kind of from here, but it's a little dark. something weird happened to the crop. I think I might not post this video. Or maybe this is when the video starts. Now I can start focusing more on drawing, finishing the drawing while talking. Now it is kind of strange to find it difficult now to integrate drawing with talking, but having this kind of basic idea already established helps me focus or divide my focus more into drawing and talking. And I don't know, maybe I'm running out of things to talk about or things to draw. Everything is limited. There's always time for something, and sometimes it's time to stop. It's kind of like when you're very excited, like, I don't know, you maybe got a promotion or a revelation, maybe some event in your life triggered this sudden sense of freedom, when you feel like you want to scream from the rooftops, and you go up to the highest building in the town and you scream from the rooftops, and then when you're done you go back downstairs and you ask yourself, now what? And it's always, this exhilaration is great, but it always wears off, and then you have to cope with what's next. What am I going to do now that I expressed my joy? And you always come back to either like crashing and getting depressed again, or just being neutral, which is probably the best possible deal. To be just neutral. Like, is it okay to be excited and hyper and like ecstatic, euphoric? Because it's nice, but it wears off. It's kind of like when it's a comedy trope when you have people laughing, like have super villains in a group plotting something evil, and then they burst into laughter, ha 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 ha, and then there's a cut and the next scene. But in Austin Powers movie, there was this scene when Dr. Evil concocted some evil plan with his associates, and they, as soon as they came up with the plan, they started laughing diabolically. Ha 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 ha. But the camera didn't pan out. There was no next scene for a long time, and then it became kind of awkward. They kept laughing, and then the laughter kind of died out, and then they started staring at each other and feeling awkward. I think that was one of the most brilliant scenes where you kind of wonder, what happens after the outbursts of enthusiasm. Everything has it's like a flame. It bursts, or maybe a firework. There's a burst, and then climax, and then it stops, and then you have to go home or drive home and get stuck in traffic. Best 4th of July ever. Can't figure out the eye of this caterpillar man. Maybe he has a kind of non-human eyes. Yeah, I'm going to focus a little bit more on his face, because his face is pretty much the center. It pulls the attention. But the key is to not overdo it too. I guess the answer is that there's no one correct state of mind to be in, and that embracing these changes, outbursts, maybe periods of sadness, emotions, maybe anger, that's the nature of what we are, and there's no one correct way of being. You can't be always aloof or always calm. And the key to a successful mental health, to me, is to be able to embrace those changes. It's like weather. Be okay regardless of the weather. Even if there's a storm out, you know that eventually it's going to stop. And you also know that there's a lot of clouds right now obscuring the sun, but beyond those clouds, the sky is always there. Yeah, I am starting to feel more meditative about it. Maybe establishing this shape and this idea was the turbulent part of the project. It's the part that I can actually kind of speed up, especially that for some reason the framing was all screwed up. And then this part here, when I'm starting to relax and having kind of a soft focus rather than this intense focus of like pattern recognition and really trying to have something emerge. We'd have him have some spikes here. It's going to be a spiky top here. Yeah, it's pretty sick. I've been trying to find some science fiction creatures that I can draw based on just descriptions, and I used ChatGPT to help me find them, but it kind of failed. Like, it kept finding me these very weird, complex creatures. It didn't really feel like drawing them. So this time I just got tired of it, and I decided to draw the creature that emerges by itself. And it's a caterpillar man, apparently. A manly man. It's like the current trend is to have a beard now. I shave clean. It's just comfortable for me. Like I tried to grow a beard and it grew enough for me to kind of feel like I have a velvet super glued, not velvet, felt, like a piece of felt super glued to my face. It felt really unpleasant. So I shaved it, and I'm not really into beards. It's very hard to maintain a good beard, but it's manly thing to do now, and men really, a lot of men these days are very insecure about their manliness. And there's a lot of this macho stuff. It's sort of like, I'm manly and there are some things that I will not do because I'm a man. Like I will not be sitting down, because once I do, I'm not a man anymore. And I'm like, how about a thought experiment, or just an experiment? Feel as manly as you feel every day. Go to the bathroom and try peeing sitting down. Is your manhood still intact when you're done? Let me know in the comments. Just an experiment. Just kind of challenge your kind of very fragile sense of what it means to be a man. If you are threatened or afraid of being emasculated, that so much that you don't do certain things that would make you feel emasculated, then maybe your sense of being manly is too fragile to call yourself a man. Can you wear a tutu for a day? I kind of have these ideas of like what is girly and what is manly. Yoga is girly. Yoga can kick your butt if you practice yoga. Yoga was developed by holy men in 5,000 years ago in India. And the advanced yoga practitioners are badass. They're really adept in mastering movements. Tai Chi too. Tai Chi has a reputation of like just soft movements that the old people do in the parks. But Tai Chi is actually a form of martial art. You can defeat an opponent using Tai Chi. So there's these misconceptions about the idea of manhood, manliness, or this kind of binary concept of gender in general. Like we think of gender as there's a male on one end and female on the other, and the male is, I don't know, hard around the edges, maybe the colors are black and gray, maybe beige sometimes. Very kind of tough, and there are no round shapes in masculine design. And then female is kind of delicate, pink, and there's like, we think of it as two extremes, and then it's almost like two ends of a gradient, and then we fill in between those two extremes. We think of other more or less manly or more or less girly people that can fill this center of the spectrum. While it's really, there's no spectrum. It's like, why is there a spectrum? I don't know how to explain it. It's like, men on one end, women on the other end. But sometimes it's more ambiguous. There are men that look girly but are very tough. There are women that look manly and are very delicate, and they're or feminine, and there are these levels that we don't think about. Like, we associate manliness with courage, and like there are a lot of not very manly looking people that are extremely courageous, and there are a lot of men that look like John Wayne or Marlon Brando that are little babies, and they get scared. And most of the manosphere and the red pillars, those men that are like really preaching the being an asshole and being the boss in the relationship, and telling their wives to make them sandwiches, they're actually quite scared and insecure. They're afraid because they created this very fragile house of cards of what it means to be a man, and they are afraid that a tiny little breeze will challenge that structure for them and destroy it. They can't have it. They have to perpetuate this manliness all the time. And they defend themselves against any sign of being unmanly, and sometimes they get confused in what they call manly and what they call girly. Like, looks maxing. You're trying to look good, and like you're trying to have very aesthetic looking muscles, and I wouldn't consider that manly. Men don't care about their looks, right? Or hair products. But I don't know. If you were a true man, you wouldn't pay attention to this stuff. You would be like finding yourself wearing pink slippers and like, yeah, whatever. I don't care. So a lot of the instances when a man shoot themselves in the foot is trying to appear manly, whatever it takes. But also homophobia plays a big role in how men are antisocial and unwilling to connect. Because if you are becoming friendly with another man, it becomes suspect. You become being accused of being gay, and like men are really afraid of being accused of that, or even associating themselves with the possibility of being accused of being gay. And homophobia is one of the reasons why they don't connect with each other, and then they get lonely, and that destroys them. They're like a prickly caterpillar. There we go. I think I'm always struggling with the placement of the ear. When I draw an ear, it always seems like it's out of place. I can kind of play with textures now. Pretty good contrast with this pencil. think there's something weird going on with the resolution of this video. Weird. Yeah, I think I'm ready to stop. It was a strange project, but sometimes strange things grab more attention. The most watched video on my channel is the old man yelling at trains. It was when I had a breakthrough of being okay with noise. And then making a compilation of the times when I yelled at trains in the end. And also, I don't know what else helped. Maybe it helped to have a nice music in the background. More humor. But I think this one is going to be a very weird. In fact, it can be so weird that more people will want to see it and just say, like, what's the deal with this caterpillar man? Or maybe people will tell me to get checked out by a psychologist, which I actually am. It does help to have a counselor, someone to advise you on your decisions, or someone you can talk to. And when you talk, even now, I'm talking to the void, and I'm still having like little breakthroughs and revelations. Having some sort of feedback actually would be better. And I even found it, if I talk to ChatGPT, I find that even the feedback of this machine helps me have some cool realizations and breakthroughs in ideas that I'm working on. So yeah, this is the project that I ended up with. And yeah, I did want there to be a face. Maybe someday I will end up with some sort of animal, like a horse or a dog or something alien. But this time it's a hybrid. Yeah, so I think I'll end here. It's getting a little darker outside. No judgment.